This lesson we will check if and else again, but this time in the nesting form. What does that mean? That means that we can use if and else, but inside of a certain if or else, we use another sub if and else. So we basically nest the conditionals. So if we take a look at this example, we have a variable flag that has a color violet and positions x30 and y23. And we have an enemy called Brack. So we check if there is an enemy. If there is an enemy, we log there's an enemy in the console. But if there isn't an enemy, we check if there is a flag. And if there is a flag, we say there is no enemy, just a flag. And if there is no flag, we say there is no enemy and there is no flag. Okay, so let's give it a try. We will open a console again. So we go to inspect and make it a little bit wider. Click on the console and first define two variables, flag and enemy. So if we check flag, okay, and if we check an enemy, we also have the enemy defined. And now we will run the if-else conditional to figure out if there is an enemy. If the enemy is present, the console will log there is an enemy. And if enemy is not present, then it will check if there is a flag. And if there isn't a flag, it will print out this. So, because we have an enemy defined, we expect that the console will log here. So the code will run, check the first conditional, and realize that it's true. So it will log this first line, second, basically, here. And it's true. So there's the enemy. So this is how we use nesting conditionals. So we nest if and else conditionals inside of existing if and else. And here we could do another if else and another if else. So however we need it, we can use to test all the conditionals that we need for a certain task. And one more thing. We mentioned indentation already. So whenever we use if and else, we have to also take care of indentation. And indentation can take 4 spaces or 2 spaces. So if you see here, 1, 2, 3, 4. And here it's again from here 1, 2, 3, 4. And then this if is here, this if is here, and this if ends here. So this is indentation with 4 spaces, but it's also possible to use 2 spaces. You can see here, 1, 2. So it's your decision how you will use 4 or 2 spaces. There is just 3 rules. However you choose to indent, just be consistent. So if you choose 2 spaces, always choose 2 spaces. If you use 4 spaces, always use 4 spaces. Your code will be much easier for others and yourself to read, if you are consistent, of course. And remember to line up closing braces at the same level as opening statements. So this I mentioned before already. So here is the opening statement and here is the closing braces. So it's in the same line. And here is the opening statement and the closing braces is aligned. And here is another opening statement, and here you see that the closing braces are also aligned. So choose whether you will be a 4 spaces person or 2 spaces person, and always be consistent. And one more trick, if you want to make two spaces, you can do it with the space bar, 1, 2, but there is another trick, you can also use a tab. This is above caps lock and next to the Q there is a arrow button, so if you use it, click, it's automatically two spaces. So you can use double click on spacebar or one click on a tab, or two clicks if you are a 4 spaces person. So this is about indentation and about nesting conditionals. See you in the next lesson.